Welcome to another great episode of Fan Talk Live. What to do, what it does, what it did, while we're doing. You guys already know what the business is, and I'm super blessed to be sitting down with the intelligent, the gifted Mike Peralta and Peter. Peter, how we doing today?
Good, really good. Thank you for having us.
Awesome. You didn't expect for me to just roll like that.
No, I didn't.
All right, Mike, did you know?
I did not know.
Awesome, man. So for the audience that don't know, why are we here today? I am excited. This is something that I've actually looked into, but I never really go through the rabbit hole. But I've seen a lot of people transform. And what I'm talking about right now, you guys, it's a men's retreat. But how about you guys tell the audience, what this program is all about, who you guys are, how you met, why are we here, and what's in it for them?
Thank you, Sofan. Yeah, so we're here representing the Acts Ministry at St. Rose of Lima Church in Roseville, and we love the ministry, and we have a fundraiser coming up and a retreat coming up. We do two retreats a year, one for men and one for women, and so we've got a couple big things coming up. And so I reached out to you, and asked if we could do some promotion, talk about it a little bit, maybe get some eyes on what we're doing, and so you agreed, and here we are.
Love it. And Pete, tell us a little bit more about yourself, man.
Yeah, so I'm, almost 60 years old, as I told you, father of two daughters, and just recently a grandfather, so very happy about
Wow,
that.
congratulations.
Yeah,
dude, you have to get some gray hair first, man. Come on.
Yeah, no,
Right?
I don't dye it, but I'm losing it. I think I'm going to lose it before I
Okay, officially a grandfather.
Officially a
You've been looking
grandfather.
forward to this for a
Oh,
while.
can't wait. Yeah, can't
Man,
wait
that's
to-
amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, continue.
And so Mike and I have known each other since 2022 through the men's Acts retreat, and it's there's not a lot of time or opportunity in this world with everything going on to really have good male Christian fellowship, and that's what this retreat does. It bring you up on a mountain, and we disconnect you from the world, and really just have good male Christian fellowship, and it's. People come off that mountain on fire.
That's phenomenal. To see transformation, you see people going in and they come back out a different person. You actually experienced this yourself. Can I get a personal story of how you got involved with this retreat, and why is this so important for you?
Yeah, so tomorrow will be let's see, it says 2026. So tomorrow will be the 10-year anniversary that my father-in-law passed away. Yeah, tomorrow. And actually, my wife and I went and we visited his gravesite out in Dixon today. So we had a good day out there, but it was nice to do that. But I say that because, I was away from the church a little bit. I'm a cradle Catholic, and I was away from the church a little bit at the time. I was, coming up on 40 years old, and so after my father-in-law passed away, my son was 2 years old, and my wife and I, we were struggling with that loss, especially her, big time. And at the time, I didn't really know what to do. I didn't know I wasn't sure how to support appropriately at the time. And so we were in a bad spot. And I realized, I just, at that time, I was like, I didn't know what to do. And so I was like, let me go back. Let me see if there's a church around me. Let me look for a church. And there was a church 2 blocks from where I live, St. Rose of Lima Church. I swear, when we moved in, I didn't even know it was there, right? But we had moved in a couple years before that. And so I find this church, and I decided to go into the church, and I just sat in the back, and hoping no one would see me there. And I went, and man, I'll tell you, I was just sitting there asking for answers and trying to figure things out. And I was tearing up a little bit back there about everything, and people would leave me alone, and I kept doing that for about 6 months. I'd go in there, once a month, once every 3 weeks. And then finally that year, this was 2017, finally that year, in December, around Christmas time, I hear someone go up on the pulpit. His name is Dan Tosi. Shout out to Dan. He goes up to the pulpit and he announces this Acts retreat. And right away I'm like, I'm doing it. I'm doing that, right? And so he talks about this retreat where, men's retreat, apply now, it's limited spots. We go up the mountain and unplug and do a lot of praying and a lot of eating and singing and attend mass and practice the sacraments. And so, I'm hearing this and I'm like, I'm doing it. I need something. I need to do something. So I walk out. He says, there's people out front of the church with applications. Just go get one. And so I walk out and I look up, and it's my neighbor. My neighbor has a red shirt on and an application. And he's like, he looks at me and he's like, his name's Gary. He looks at me and he goes, Mike, you want to do this? And I'm like, Gary, you do this? And like, so we had this thing, right?
Nice.
And so, I took the application, I signed up, went to the retreat, and, I try to stay away from saying it changed me or it changes people.
Okay.
I feel like that's a little bit of an overpromise, but, what it did do is it allowed me to go and unplug and really have an encounter, with Jesus and have time to focus on Jesus and where I'm at with my faith. And so at that time, what I needed, right? I got what I needed at that time, which was a lot of healing.
Wow.
And so, that it's 3 nights, Thursday to Sunday. So you go up Thursday night and come back on Sunday. And so it's quite a bit of time, nice chunk of time, right?
Right.
And, some of the brothers that were there on that retreat with me, I still have friendships with to this day.
Wow.
And so it's very bonding. And so you get a lot out of it. There's a lot going on there, but it's all good stuff.
Man, I love that. I like the fact that you try to stay away from saying that cliche, oh, it changed me, because it is a little bit overpromising, right? Because you don't know how people react, and how do I say, take it all in, right? They might build a strong relationship with bonding, fellowship, and with God. Now, Peter, your experience, I'm excited to hear your testimony.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about your retreat.
Yeah.
Experience.
So maybe just to start off, I spent my 40 years walking through the desert, testing God, and doing things that I'm not too proud of, but working on my career. A lot of it was about Peter. That was my life. And it was kind of interesting. You'd like to say that you had this big aha moment.
Yep.
It wasn't really a big aha moment, but it was interesting. I was a cradle Catholic, so born and raised. Because of the troublemaker I was, my mom put me into Catholic schools, figuring to straighten me out.
Yeah, it worked though.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't like I never had not a disbelief in God. It was just my father passed away when I was 3.
Okay.
And so it was pretty hard for somebody to absorb. So it was kind of like, all right, you owe me.
Yeah.
And so to me, it was, life was being a daredevil. And, even as a little kid, I'd be riding a big wheel down Potrero Hill in San Francisco in and out of cars.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was just testing fate,
Hey,
and
you
it was
made
at
it to 60.
I know, right? Exactly. So, it was actually kind of interesting. It was at my mom's funeral, where we were at a Catholic church. Other than my obligatory Christmas Eves and Easters, hadn't really stepped into a church. And at my mom's funeral, the priest was talking about how we're all called to be disciples of Christ. And it's not like I hadn't heard that before, but I can't explain why that really resonated with me. And so that week, I Googled churches near me. And
2 blocks away.
Yeah, my mom's name is Rose. St. Rose popped up. I'm like, well, that's a sign.
Wow.
Yeah, so I went, and in fact, that Sunday I woke up and I told my wife I'm going to church. She's like, you're going to church? And quite honestly, since 2022, I haven't missed a Sunday since. And similar to Mike, I started going through the website and I saw the Acts Ministry.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ooh, this sounds really good. If you really need spiritual direction and this type of thing. And so right away, I was like, I knew that there was an upcoming retreat in St. Rose. I was like, right away, I wanted to sign up. To find out it was in Spanish.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh,
You speak
man.
Spanish?
No, not a lick.
Poquito.
Poquito. Yeah.
Hey, we were talking about tacos earlier, man.
Yeah,
that's
my
explosive.
extent, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, I ended up living my retreat through the Cathedral of the Blessed Sacrament, which is outside of.
Okay.
But I agree with you, Mike, in that using changed would probably be an overstatement, but I could definitely see transformation.
I love that.
Where, I've seen men that have come to this retreat, men that have lived, very hard lives that say that they're broken. And by the time they come off the retreat, They're filled with hope,
Wow.
and they're filled with a sense of joy and peace, and that's really what we really try to achieve through the retreat. We have a 16-week formation process.
Oh, wow.
So
16 weeks, that's a
16
big commitment.
25 men, 16 weeks of getting ourselves ready,
Mm.
because it's not really us. It's opening ourselves up so that the Holy Spirit can work through us.
Wow.
And you'd be surprised how that works. And I've been on both sides of this now, like Mike, where you've been a retreatant and then you serve on the team to help other retreatants.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I have to say, when you see that light start to turn on in
Right.
fellow men, I mean, I'll put that up there with the birth of my grandchild, right? It's just an amazing feeling to know that the Holy Spirit has worked through you to help
Yes.
bring somebody closer to Christ.
Wow.
And that's what discipleship is all about.
That is a phenomenal story. And you get a red shirt too.
I get a red shirt. Yeah.
Yes.
For sure.
Other than, yes, transformation. I love the change. You do change. I mean, it's inevitable. You will come out a different person, I feel like. It sounds to me, your story is very similar, very parallel. There's a lot of healing that was needed. And you felt you were a cradle Catholic, and you felt maybe, I don't want to say lost, but kind of the relationship was, a little bit further or distance for a while. And now you feel that you're very close. You haven't missed a Sunday since.
Yeah.
And so you guys are volunteering your time. You guys work together as a team. Now, so how do you tell other people about this amazing experience in this retreat? I mean, how do you do, other than, people at your church, how are people discovering this?
Yeah, I mean, through seeing us, right? Because what inevitably happens is, I see it all the time, is once you experience the retreat, a big part of what we're doing, because this is sponsored by our parish,
Okay.
and this is lay led. Okay, now there's
What's lay led mean?
non clergy, so just ordinary men, just
Okay.
just parishioners.
Parishioners.
Yeah, parishioner led. And so, this is sponsored by the church, and so there's only 2 churches in Northern California that put on these retreats: the Cathedral, the Blessed Sacrament.
That's where you
downtown,
went, and
then St. Rose. of
St.
Lima.
Rose of
Yeah,
Lima.
yeah. So
Why did you go to Cathedral?
Well, because they flip back and forth,
Oh,
and so I didn't want to wait. And
gotcha.
so
It's the same retreat, though.
it's the same retreat.
Same retreat.
Oh, okay. So it's more. Okay, so not just one church; it's 2 churches coming
Yeah.
together. How many people typically attend?
anywhere from 20, usually about 20 to 30,
20, 30.
but we top out right about 35, 36.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So this is only 2 churches that puts out these retreats.
Mhm.
Tell me more about that.
Yeah, so this started in Roseville, back around 2012, and our pastor at St. Rose at the time, Father Michael O'Reilly, he's over at Cathedral now, and so he's a big supporter of this, and we need that support
Right.
from pastors, and because the parish it's the church's money that puts on these retreats. This is a nonprofit effort.
Right.
And so, we raise a lot of funds, like the fundraiser we got coming up with the fireworks booth.
Yeah, we definitely gotta discuss
Yeah,
about
yeah,
that because
yeah.
this is important, guys. I mean, it takes we need funds to make things happen, right? To actually, So the fundraiser
Yeah.
with the fireworks. Let's talk a little bit more about that too.
Yeah.
So you raise funds. Tell me how is the past experience with raising funds? How you've done that for quite some time?
Yeah, so we've been fortunate. So the fireworks booth is one of the biggest fundraisers at our parish there in Roseville.
Coming up,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, it's coming up. It's starts August the 28th. Excuse me.
Wait, August.
June 28th.
Oh, okay, coming up,
Yes,
June 28th. You guys got time to get prepared, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sunday, June 28th. We start sales, and then that runs all the way up into the 4th of July.
All the way to 4th of July.
Yeah,
Okay.
We'll make a nice chunk of money.
Right.
Thank you to TNT and the city of Roseville for allowing us to do that. But with the fireworks booth, you get that fundraiser for 5-year periods. So we've been very fortunate to be able to have that. 8 of the last 9 years we've had this fundraiser. So it's located at 1080 Pleasant Grove Boulevard, the Safeway parking lot. Okay. And we run from Sunday, June 28th, all the way to Saturday, July 4th. Our sales hours are 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. So we're there all day, no matter how hot it is. We're there all day. But it's our biggest and most important fundraiser of the year by far for the Acts Ministry. The money that is raised directly goes to some other ministries in the church, but primarily goes to putting on these retreats that we do for men and women once a year, once for men, once for women. So 2 retreats a year.
Phenomenal. And I love that. And we just lost a little bit of light too, but it's okay. This is amazing that you're doing this, and raising funds, because it just takes, it just takes some funds to make this retreat happen, right? You're there at the corner. What's the address again?
1080 Pleasant Grove Boulevard in Roseville, in the Safeway parking lot.
Safeway parking lot, June 28th.
Sunday, June 28th, all the way to July 4th. July 4th is a Saturday, so lots of parties going on. Come buy your fireworks early; they do sell out. Come buy them twice if you want to. Right?
Yeah, definitely. Stock up if you can, right, Pete?
That's right.
Yeah.
I wanted to say too that a big part of the fundraiser isn't. It's obviously to cover the cost of the retreat, but a good portion of the proceeds too go to people that can't afford to go on retreat with us.
Oh.
We sponsor them to come on because we don't want money to be the issue.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I always feel like if you want to be something, you want to make change, and there's the will, there's a way, right? God will find a way. You just have to show up, and if it takes for you to, get sponsored by someone, that's amazing. So for the people like maybe thinking about it on the fence, what would you say to someone like that? That's like, hey, I kind of want this retreat, but is it for me?
Well, first of all, I'd say don't be scared. I know people hand in their cell phones, and you're saying, I don't know any of these people, and I'm going to someplace on a mountain that I'm not exactly sure where it is. That's it's a little bit uncomfortable, I would say, but that shouldn't be the reason that distracts you from going on this. I would say that if you've been looking for spiritual direction, or you're looking to become part of a community, then you should seriously consider this. Detaching yourself from the world for these 3 days is time that's in. How often do you have that time to invest in yourself and your own spiritual journey?
I love that.
So it's I think it's important that if you're in that boat and you're on the fence with that, take those things into consideration and invest in yourself.